This is On Hand, a podcast answering your questions about the things that make Michigan unique. I'm producer Ronia Kabansag, and in our most recent episode, we did our best to answer a question that doesn't necessarily have a definitive answer. Tom from Jackson, Michigan wrote in to ask us, is Michigan's bottle deposit system, quote unquote, worth it? So we invited a couple experts to help us weigh the facts from all angles. And the short answer is, our bottle bill does significantly reduce litter and streamline high quality recycling. But the policy just hasn't changed a whole lot in the last few decades, and some would say it needs some updates to really make it more effective. Wherever you stand on the worth it spectrum, I think we can all agree 10 cents used to be worth a lot more than it is today.
It's probably not as valuable as it was to us back then, because I don't know that you can get a $7 pizza anymore, but...
Yeah, I feel like you could get a $7, maybe 2 sodas.
Right, probably.
2 more pops.
Yeah, not as much incentive today.
Today's listener story is a throwback to the 90s at Central Michigan University.
Hi, my name's Andrea Haupt. I am from South Lyon, Michigan.
And tell me about the culture around bottle collection while you were at Central.
Okay, so when I was at Central in 1990, we were always very hungry. We lived on nothing but, the dorm food and cheese and crackers that we had in our room. And so the bottle collection was a really big deal to us because we knew if we saved enough money, we could probably order a pizza.
And so you felt protective of these bottles, right? Were people
yes.
out to get the bottles on campus?
Well, we didn't know that at first. So probably about 6 weeks into our freshman year, my roommate, who was my high school friend, and we had been saving our bottles, and we were so looking forward to getting some good, hot junk food. This Friday, we finally got enough money. We're going to get some pizza. And we get this knock on the door. And we open the door, and there's, 2 cute guys standing there. And we're like, oh, wow, hi. And they're like, hi. We're just collecting bottles for our hockey team. And we're like, oh, no. What are we going to do? We're not going to say no to these, cute upper freshman guys when we're, shy freshmen. And there they are, right in the middle of that tiny dorm room, our nice big stack of about 70, 80 cans
oh my gosh.
that were just enough to get a pizza. And so, yes, we reluctantly handed over our bottles, very sadly.
All of the bottles?
Well, on our first time, yeah. Because we were, little immature freshmen. We didn't know. We just wanted to be liked. So we handed over our bottles and then complained about it and started saving again. So another, month or so goes by, and we finally get there, and of course, knock on the door, and 2 girls this time. And we're like, oh, hi. Hey, we're from the drama club. We're just collecting cans and bottles. And we're like, oh, God, okay, but we're just going to give you half.
Would you tell them that?
Yeah, because
so
we're like, we're saving them, and they're so persistent. They're like, oh, they can see them. They're standing there staring at the pile, and they're like, oh, well, we see you've got a lot. So finally, we get smart because our room is so small. It's a dorm room. You open up the door, and it's a square room. Where are you going to hide all these cans? You can't say you just took them back. They can see them sitting right there. So finally, we get smart, and we realize when the door opens inward, the person standing in the hall cannot see what is behind the door.
Smart.
Yes. So we finally got smart, and we moved all of our cans and bottles to against the wall, right behind where the door opens. So then that way, the next time we finally get enough money and there's a knock on the door, we're like, oh, sorry. We just took them back. God, if you would have just come yesterday. We had so many, but...
You weren't scared of the rattling sound that the cans would make when you open the door?
We had them packed in there.
Okay.
They were well protected.
So $7 pizza, that's 70 bottles. How long?
Yeah.
It was months of saving, probably.
Yeah, well, we did have 4 in our dorm room.
Okay,
so we had a little bit of it wasn't just a 2-person room, so
okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do you remember what it was bottles of primarily?
Oh, probably Mountain Dew back in those days.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
And then when you finally would take them back to get your deposit back, was it like an event? Like, would you all go together and get the money and then like go choose your pizza together?
The funny thing is I can't remember now the actual taking them back. I just think the trauma of the people coming and taking them away from us after we had worked so hard on saving them up. So I don't remember, but I do remember getting pizza and having just enough and not even tipping the poor pizza guy.
Thanks so much to Andrea for this one. We also wanted to share another story from someone who remembers what it took to get the 10-cent deposit passed.
My name is Mike Lehnert. I was originally born on a Marine Corps base in Cap Lejeune, North Carolina, and I was raised in the Thumb area of Michigan, near Flint. My father was a skilled trades worker at Fisher Body in Flint, Michigan. He had an 8th grade education. He was a former Marine. He was not a political individual. I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan for a year. I'd been gone for a year. I was home on leave, and my father said, first thing out of his mouth was, "Are you registered to vote in Michigan?" And I told him that I was, that I retained my Michigan residency. And he proceeded to tell me about the proposal to pass a 10-cent deposit. I explained to him that I would support that, and he was very encouraged. At that point, he handed me the keys to the car. He worked second shift at Fisher Body, and told me that I could use the car, but I had to pick him up every night at the end of second shift, which was at about 11:30 to 12 o'clock at night. That night, I drove out to pick him up. There are always bars right across from the factories, and that's where we had arranged to meet. He came in and asked the bartender for the empty bottles that he'd collected that night. He put the bottles in the front seat of the car, which kind of surprised me, and told me to drive. I started out the parking lot, and he said, "Turn right." I said, "Dad, home is left." He says, "Just do as I say." We found ourselves in a subdivision in Flint. My father rolled down the window and proceeded to throw a non-deposit beer bottle on the lawn of each house we passed. I said, "Dad, you're littering." And he responded, "Oh, no. I'm lobbying." He said each person that picks up one of these bottles may possibly vote for the bottle bill. He was very pleased when the bottle bill passed, and particularly that the vote in Flint was very supportive of the bottle bill. He felt that he had had a definite involvement in the passage of the bill. For anybody that listens to this and had to pick up a non-deposit beer bottle during that time, I will apologize for my brief involvement, and let them know that my dad has been dead for 28 years, and I think the statute of limitations is probably passed.
If there's anyone out there that lived near the Fisher Body plant in Flint in the 70s, let me know. Thank you to the many, many other folks who wrote in response to the bottle episode. Up next on Hand, we're looking into the history of mile marker roads, plus where exactly up north begins. We're always looking for more stories. If you have one to share or a question that we could help answer for you, be like Mike, be like Andrea, email us at onhand@michiganpublic.org. Or you can head to the submission form. I'll leave the link to that in today's pod description. We'll see you next week.